upon a time, an ordinary 16-year-old girl wanted to become a politician. A good politician. I know there's no such thing. But the world was as lofty as my dreams, and I decided to get some practice with the first election, the first of many, the high school election. So with a skip in my step and my heart pounding, I walked through the hallowed halls of the convent school. I had grown so accustomed to these big green fields that housed the sports meet, the bustling crowds, and the smelly science labs, and the assembly hall where I would hopefully soon be handed the school flag as the student council president. For 2 whole months, I had lobbied the election committee and made promises that I intended to keep. Meanwhile, my friends and their anxious parents are getting busy applying to colleges and prestigious universities which produce cookie-cutter professionals. So my closest and my kindest friend joins me as I walk in and says, "Kapila, you're focused on bettering an institution you're about to leave in the next 2 years. What about your own future?" I pretend not to hear her as I look at the board stating election results. And there was my name in bright, shining letters. I squeal with joy, give her a hug, and say, "Today, I think with my heart and not my head." As the week rolled in, on the one hand, I was getting super excited about what lay ahead for the school council. And on the other side, I was feeling FOMO from not being able to focus on university prep. Over lunch that day, the same friend says to me, "You know what? Your ambitions are absolutely not in sync with your traditional upbringing. And you are defying a tried and tested methodology of career growth. I don't know whether to call you bold or plain stupid." Seeds of doubt had taken root, and my inner critic said to me, "What if you do not succeed at the school council and you do not land a decent university? You're competing with 1,000 hustlers, 1 billion hustlers after all." So, filled with self-doubt and thinking with my head this time, I walked towards the principal's office. Now, Catholic nuns are known to be kind and empathetic creatures. Not my principal. She was fierce, realistic, and can conjure up a death stare. She really had the power of the force behind her. So, I say, "Sister, I regret to inform you, but I must step down from the elected post. I feel that I need to focus on my studies at this point." Clever as she is, she says, "I see, and I understand. I run a school after all, but you should have thought of this sooner. I will award the post to your runner-up. Good luck and Godspeed." I was stunned. I had expected her to talk me out of my self-doubt. But there she was, giving me her blessings. I consoled myself by saying, "This is what it means to be a grown-up," and walked away. As the year went by, and as the story writes itself, I grew sick and tired of the charade. I was secretly focused on running the school events, helping the runner-up. She didn't really appreciate my interference, and my parents didn't appreciate my grades. It was getting harder and harder for me to justify to myself how I couldn't make both the objectives meet in the middle. I discovered this rigidity of thought, and I was really trying hard to get rid of it. Now the new year rolls in, and the final year nominations are announced. I knew I had to act quickly. It was barely morning when I rushed into the principal's office. "Morning, sister," I said, out of breath. "I've had a change of heart. I believe I can add value to the school and work harder at the university prep. My peers only care about adding this to their resume, but I genuinely care about the school. Please, could I have your blessing to be nominated again?" Silence. She conjures up that death stare and says to me, "Get out." My heart breaks. My true bold move did not receive a standing ovation. to think that I had missed an NSYNC special last night to prepare for this chat. As I was walking back to class feeling like a total loser, another nun, a kind one, stops me in my tracks. I blurted out my entire story amidst sobs. She asks me to promise to stick to my decision this time and volunteers to speak to the principal on my behalf. A month later, I won the election by a small margin and was handed the school's bag. That led to a series of bold events throughout my life, one that has caused me to stand here talking in front of you all today. Thank you.